Yovelim, Jubilees 31. And on the new moon of the month, Yaakov spoke to all the people of his house, saying, Purify yourselves and change your garments, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, where I vowed a vow to him on the day when I fled from the face of Esau, my brother, because he has been with me and brought me into this land in peace. And put ye away the strange Elohim that are among you. And they gave up the strange Elohim, and that which was in their ears, and which was on their necks, and the idols which Rachel stole from Lavan, her father, she gave wholly to Yaakov. And he burnt and broke them to pieces, and destroyed them, and hid them under an oak which is in the land of Shechem. And he went up on the new moon of the 7th month to Bethel. And he built an altar at the place where he had slept. And he set up a pillar there. And he sent word to his father Yitzchak to come to him to his sacrifice, and to his mother Rivkah. And Yitzchak said, Let my son Yaakov come, and let me see him before I die. Yaakov went to his father Yitzchak and to his mother Rivkah, to the house of his father Abraham. And he took 2 of his sons with him, Levi and Yehudah, and he came to his father Yitzchak and to his mother Rivkah. And Rivkah came forth from the tower to the front of it, to kiss Yaakov and embrace him, for her ruach had revived when she heard. Behold, Yaakov your son has come, and she kissed him. And she saw his 2 sons, and she recognized them, and said unto him, Are these your sons, my son? And she embraced them and kissed them, and blessed them, saying, In you shall the seed of Abraham become illustrious, and ye shall prove a blessing on the earth. And Yaakov went into Yitzchak his father to the chamber where he lay, and his 2 sons were with him. And he took the hand of his father, and stooping down, he kissed him. And Yitzchak clung to the neck of Yaakov his son, and wept upon his neck. And the darkness left the eyes of Yitzchak, and he saw the 2 sons of Yaakov, Levi and Yehudah, and he said, Are these your sons, my son? For they are like you. And he said unto him that were truly his sons. And you have truly seen that they are truly my sons. And they came near to him, and he turned and kissed them, and embraced them both together. And the Ruach Nevuah came down into his mouth, and he took Levi by his right hand, and Yehudah by his left. And he turned to Levi first, and began to bless him first, and said unto him, May the Elohim of all, the very Yahuwah of all the ages, bless you and your children throughout all the ages. And may Yahuwah give to you and to your seed greatness and great glory, and cause you and your seed from among all flesh to approach him, to serve in his sanctuary as the angels of the presence and as the holy ones. even as they shall the seed of your sons be, for glory and greatness and holiness, and may he make them great unto all the ages. And they shall be judges and princes and chiefs of all the seed of the sons of Yaakov. They shall speak the word of Yahuwah in righteousness, and they shall judge all his and they shall judge all his judgments in righteousness. And they shall declare my ways to Yaakov, and my paths to Yashara'el. The blessing of Yahuwah shall be given in their mouths, to bless all the seed of the beloved. Your mother has called your name Levi, and justly has she called your name. You shall be joined to Yahuwah, and be the companion of all the sons of Yaakov. Let his table be yours, and do you and your sons eat thereof. And may your table be full unto all generations, and your food fail not unto all the ages. And let all who hate you fall down before you, and let all your adversaries be rooted out and perish. And blessed be he that blesses you, and cursed be every nation that curses you. And to Yahudah he said, may Yahuwah give you strength and power to tread down all that hate you. A prince shall you be, you and one of your sons, over the sons of Yaakov. May your name and the name of your sons go forth, and traverse every land and region. Then shall the other nations fear before your face. And all the nations shall quake, and all the peoples shall quake. In you shall be the help of Yaakov, and in you be found the Yeshua of Yashara'el. And when you sit on the throne of honor of your righteousness, there shall be great peace for all the seed of the sons of the beloved. Blessed be he that blesses you, and all that hate you and afflict you and curse you shall be rooted out and destroyed from the earth, and be accursed. And turning, he kissed him again and embraced him, and rejoiced greatly, for he had seen the sons of Yaakov his son in very truth. And he went forth from between his feet, and fell down, and bowed to him. And he blessed them, and rested there with Yitzchak his father that night. And they ate and drank with joy. And he made the two sons of Yaakov sleep, the one on his right hand and the other on his left. And it was counted to him for righteousness. And Yaakov told his father everything during the night, how Yahuwah had shown him great mercy, and how he had prospered him in all his ways, and protected him from all evil. And Yitzchak blessed the Elohim of his father Abraham, who had not withdrawn his mercy and his righteousness from the sons of his servant Yitzchak. And in the morning Yaakov told his father Yitzchak the vow which he had vowed to Yahuwah, and the vision which he had seen, and that he had built an altar, and that everything was ready for the sacrifice to be made before Yahuwah as he had vowed, and that he had come to set him on an ass. And Yitzchak said unto Yaakov his son, I'm not able to go with you, for I am old, not able to bear the way. Go, my son, in peace, for I am 165 years this day. I am no longer able to journey. Set your mother on an ass and let her go with you. And I know, my son, that you have come on my account, and may this day be blessed on which you have seen me alive. And I also have seen you, my son. May you prosper and fulfill the vow which you have vowed, and put not off your vow, for you shall be called to account as touching the vow. Now therefore make haste to perform it. And may he be pleased who has made all things, to whom you have vowed the vow. And he said to Rivkah, Go with Yaakov your son. And Rivkah went with Yaakov her son, and Deborah with her. And they came to Beit-el. And Yaakov remembered the prayer with which his father had blessed him and his two sons, Levi and Yehudah, and he rejoiced and blessed the Elohim of his fathers, Abraham and Yitzchak. And he said, Now I know that I have an eternal hope, and my sons also, before the Elohim of all. And thus it is ordained concerning the two. And they record it as an eternal testimony unto them on the heavenly tablets, how Yitzchak blessed them. Yophalim Jubilees 32. And he abode that night at Beit-el, and Levi dreamt that they had ordained and made him the priest of El Elyon, him and his sons forever. And he awoke from his sleep and blessed Yahuwah. And Yaakov rose early in the morning on the 14th of this month, and he gave a tithe of all that came with him, both of men and cattle, both of gold, and every vessel and garment. Yea, he gave tithes of all. And in those days Rachel became pregnant with her son Binyamin, and Yaakov counted his sons from him upwards. And Levi fell to the portion of Yahuwah, and his father clothed him in the garments of the priesthood, and filled his hands. And on the 15th of this month he brought to the altar 14 oxen from amongst the cattle, and 28 rams, and 49 sheep, and 7 lambs, and 21 kids of the goats as a burnt offering on the altar of sacrifice, well pleasing for a sweet savor before Elohim. This was his offering in consequence of the vow which he had vowed, that he would give a tenth, with their fruit offerings and their drink offerings. And when the fire had consumed it, he burnt incense on the fire over the fire. And for a thank offering, 2 oxen, and 4 rams, and 4 sheep, 4 he-goats, and 2 sheep of a year old, and 2 kids of the goats. Thus he did daily for 7 days. And he and all his sons and his men were eating this with joy there during 7 days, and blessing and thanking Yahuwah, who had delivered him out of all his tribulation, and had given him his vow. And he tithed all the clean animals, and made a burnt sacrifice. But the unclean animals he gave not to Levi, his son. And he gave him all the souls of the men. And Levi discharged the priestly office at Beit El before Yaakov his father, in preference to his 10 brothers. And he was a priest there. And Yaakov gave his vow. Thus he tithed again the tithe to Yahuwah, and sanctified it, and it became holy unto him. And for this reason it is ordained on the heavenly tablets as a Torah, for the tithing again the tithe, to eat before Yahuwah from year to year, in the place where it is chosen that his name should dwell. And to this Torah there is no limit of days forever. This ordinance is written that it may be fulfilled from year to year, in eating the second tithe before Yahuwah, in the place where it has been chosen, and nothing shall remain over from it, from this year to the year following. For in its year shall the seed be eaten till the days of the gathering of the seed of the year, and the wine till the days of the wine, and the oil till the days of its season. And all that is left thereof and becomes old, let it be regarded as polluted, let it be burnt with fire, for it is unclean. Thus let them eat it together in the sanctuary, and let them not suffer it to become old. And all the tithes of the oxen and sheep shall be holy unto Yahuwah, and shall belong to his priests, which they will eat before him from year to year. For thus is it ordained and engraven regarding the tithe on the heavenly tablets. And on the following night, on the 22nd day of this month, Yaakov resolved to build that place, and to surround the court with a wall, and to sanctify it and make it holy forever, for himself and his children after him. And Yahuwah appeared to him by night, and blessed him, and said unto him, Your name shall not be called Yaakov, but Yashara'el shall thy name your name. Rather shall they name your name. And he said unto him again, I am Yahuwah, who created the heavens and the earth. And I will increase you and multiply you exceedingly. And kings shall come forth from you, and they shall judge everywhere, wherever the foot of the sons of men have trodden. And I will give to your seed all the earth which is under heaven, and they shall judge all the nations according to their desires. And after that they shall get possession of the whole earth, and inherit it forever. He finished speaking with him, and he went up from him. And Yaakov looked till he had ascended into heaven. And he saw in a vision of the night, and behold, an angel descended from heaven, with 7 tablets in his hands. And he gave them to Yaakov, and he read them, and knew all that was written therein, which would befall him and his sons throughout all the ages. And he showed him all that was written on the tablets, and said unto him, Do not build this place, and do not make it an eternal sanctuary, and do not dwell here, for this is not the place. Go to the house of Abraham your father, and dwell with Yitzchak your father, until the day of the death of your father. For in Mitzrayim you shall die in peace. And in this land you shall be buried with honor, in the sepulchre of your fathers, with Abraham and Yitzchak. Fear not, for as you have seen and read it, thus shall it all be. And do write down everything as you have seen and read. And Yaakov said, Yahuwah, how can I remember all that I have read and seen? And he said unto him, I will bring all things to your remembrance. And he went up from him, and he awoke from his sleep, and he remembered everything which he had read and seen. And he wrote down all the words which he had read and seen. And he celebrated there yet another day. And he sacrificed thereon according to all that he sacrificed on the former days, and called its name Addition. This day was added, and the former days he called the feast. And thus it was manifested that it should be, and it is written on the heavenly tablets, wherefore it was revealed to him that he should celebrate it, and add it to the 7 days of the feast. And its name was called Addition, because that it was recorded amongst the days of the feast days, according to the number of the days of the year. And in the night, on the 23rd of this month, Deborah, Rivka's nurse, died. And they buried her beneath the city, under the oak of the tree, rather of the river. He called the name of this place the river of Deborah, and the oak of the mourning of Deborah. And Rivka went and returned to her house, to his father Yitzchak. And Yaakov sent by her hand rams and sheep and he-goats, that she should prepare a meal for his father, such as he desired. And he went after his mother till he came to the land of Cabratan, and he dwelt there. And Rachel bore a son in the night, and called his name Son of My Sorrow, for she suffered in giving him birth. But his father called his name Binyamin on the 11th of the 8th month, in the first of the 6th week of this Jubilee. And Rachel died there, and she was buried in the land of Ephrathah. The same is Beit Lechem. And Yaakov built a pillar on the grave of Rachel, on the road above her grave. Yovelim, Jubilees 33. And Yaakov went and dwelt to the south of Magdala-Draaf. And he went to his father Yitzchak, he and Leah, his woman, on the new moon of the 10th month. And Reuben saw Bilhah, Rachel's maid, the concubine of his father, bathing in water in a secret place. He loved her. And he hid himself at night. He entered the house of Bilhah at night, and found her sleeping alone on a bed in her house. He lay with her. She awoke and saw. Behold, Reuben was lying with her in the bed. And she uncovered the border of her covering and seized him and cried out, and discovered that it was Reuben. She was ashamed because of him. and released her hand from him, and he fled. And she lamented because of this thing exceedingly, and did not tell it to anyone. And when Yaakov returned and sought her, she said unto him, I am not clean for you, for I have been defiled as regards you. And Reuben has defiled me, and has lain with me in the night, and I was asleep, and did not discover until he uncovered my skirt, and slept with me. And Yaakov was exceedingly wroth with Reuben, because he had lain with Bilhah, because he had uncovered his father's skirt. And Yaakov did not approach her again, because Reuben had defiled her. And as for any man who uncovers his father's skirt, he is indeed, his deed is wicked exceedingly, for he is abomination before Yahweh. For this reason it is written and ordained on the heavenly tablets that a man should not lie with his father's woman, and should not uncover his father's skirt, for this is unclean. They shall surely die together. The man who lies with his father's woman, and the woman also, for they have wrought uncleanness on the earth. There shall be nothing unclean before our Elohim in the nation which he has chosen for himself as a possession. And again it is written a second time, Cursed be he who lies with the woman of his father, for he has uncovered his father's shame. And all the Kodashim of Yahuwah said, So be it, so be it. And do you, Moshe, command the children of Yashara'el that they observe this word, for it entails a punishment of death, and it is unclean. And there is no atonement forever to atone for the man who has committed this. But he is to be put to death and slain, and stoned with stones, rooted out from the midst of the people of Elohim. For to no man who does so in Yashara'el is it permitted to remain alive a single day on the earth, for he is abominable and unclean. And let them not say, To Reuben was granted life and forgiveness after he had lain with his father's concubine, and to her also, though she had a man, and her man Yaakov his father was still alive. For until that time there had not been revealed the ordinance and judgment and Torah in its completeness for all. But in your days it has been revealed as a Torah of seasons and of days, and an everlasting Torah for the everlasting generations. And for this Torah there is no consummation of days, and no atonement for it. They must both be rooted out in the midst of the nation. On the day whereon they committed it, they shall slay them. And do you, Moshe, write it down for Yashara'el, that they may observe it, and do according to these words, and not commit a sin unto death. For Yahuwah Eloheinu is judge, who respects not persons and accepts not gifts. Tell them these words of the covenant. That they may hear and observe, and be on their guard with respect to them, and not be destroyed and rooted out of the land. For an uncleanness and an abomination and a contamination and a pollution are all they who commit it on the earth before our Elohim. There is no greater sin than the fornication which they commit on earth. For Yashara'el is a holy nation unto Yahuwah, its Elohim, and a nation of inheritance, and a priestly and royal nation, and for his own possession. There shall no such uncleanness appear in the midst of the holy nation. And in the 3rd year of the 6th week, Yaakov and all his sons went and dwelt in the house of Abraham, near Yitzchak his father, and Rivkah his mother. And these were the names of the sons of Yaakov. The firstborn Reuben, Shimon, Levi, Yehudah, Yishakar, Zebulun, the sons of Leah, and the sons of Rachel, Yosef, and Binyamin, and the sons of Bilhah, Dan and Naphtali, and the sons of Zilpah, Gad and Asher, and Dinah, the daughter of Leah, the only daughter of Yaakov. And they came and bowed themselves to Yitzchak and Rivkah. When they saw them, they blessed Yaakov and all his sons. And Yitzchak rejoiced exceedingly, for he saw the sons of Yaakov, his younger son, and he blessed them. Yophalim, Jubilees 34. And in the 6th year of this week, of this 44th Jubilee, Yaakov sent his sons to pasture their sheep, and his servants with them to the pastures of Shechem. And the 7 kings of the Amorim assembled themselves together against them to slay them, hiding themselves under the trees, and to take their cattle as a prey. And Yaakov and Levi and Yehudah and Yosef were in the house with Yitzchak their father, for his ruach was sorrowful, and they could not leave him. And Binyamin was the youngest, and for this reason remained with his father. And there came the kings of Taphu, and the kings of Erasah, and the kings of Saragan, and the kings of Selo, and the kings of Gaas, and the king of Beit Koran, and the king of Ma'anesakir, and all those who dwell in these mountains, and who dwell in the woods in the land of Canaan. And they announced this to Yaakov, saying, Behold, kings of the Amorim have surrounded your sons and plundered their herds. And he arose from his house, he and his 3 sons, and all the servants of his father, and his own servants, and he went against them with 6,000 men who carried swords. And he slew them in the pastures of Shechem, and pursued those who fled. And he slew them with the edge of the sword. And he slew Arasah, and Tafu, and Saragan, and Selo, and Ma'anasaker, and Gaas. And he recovered his herds. And he prevailed over them, and imposed tribute on them, that they should pay him tribute, 5 fruit products of their land. And he built Reuben, Tamnateres, and he returned in peace, and made peace with them. And they became his servants until the day that he and his sons went down into Mitzrayim. And in the 7th year of this week, he sent Yosef to learn about the welfare of his brothers from his house to the land of Shechem. And he found them in the land of Dothan. They dealt treacherously with him and formed a plot against him to slay him. But changing their minds, they sold him to Ishmaeli merchants, and they brought him down into Mitzrayim. And they sold him to Potiphar, the eunuch of Pharaoh, chief of the cooks, priest of the city of Elu. And the sons of Yaakov slaughtered a kid, dipped the coat of Yosef in the blood, and sent it to Yaakov their father on the 10th of the 7th month. And he mourned all that night, for they had brought it to him in the evening. And he became feverish with mourning for his death, and he said, "An evil beast has devoured Yosef." And all the members of his house mourned with him that day. And they were grieving and mourning with him all that day, and his sons and his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted for his son. And on that day Bilhah heard that Yosef had perished. She died mourning him. She was living in Kaphrateth, and Dinah also, his daughter, died after Yosef had perished. There came these 3 mournings upon Yashara'el in 1 month. They buried Bilhah over against the tomb of Rachel, and Dinah also, his daughter, they buried there. He mourned for Yosef 1 year, and did not cease, for he said, "Let me go down to Sheol, mourning for my son." For this reason it is ordained for the children of Yashara'el that they should afflict themselves on the 10th of the 7th month, on the day that the news which made him weep for Yosef came to Yaakov his father, that they should make atonement for themselves thereon with a young goat on the 10th of the 7th month, once a year, for their sins. For they had grieved the affection of their father regarding Yosef his son. And this day has been ordained that they should grieve thereon for their sins, and for all their transgressions, and for all their errors, so that they might cleanse themselves on the day, rather that day once a year. And after Yosef perished, the sons of Yaakov took unto themselves women. The name of Reuben's woman is Adah, and the name of Shimon's woman is Adba'ah, a Canaanim. And the name of Levi's woman is Melka, of the daughters of Aram, of the seed of the sons of Terach. And the name of Yahudah's woman, Betesuel, Ani. And the name of Yishakar's woman, Hezekiah. And the name of Zebulun's woman, Ni'iman. And the name of Dan's woman, Eglah. And the name of Naphtali's woman, Rasu'u of Aram, Naharim. And the name of Gad's woman, Makkah. And the name of Asher's woman, Iona. And the name of Joseph's woman, Enath, and the Mitzri. And the name of Binyamin's woman, Iasaka. And Shimon repented and took a second woman from Aram, Naharaim, as his brothers. Yophalim Jubilees 35. And in the first year of the first week of the 44th Jubilee, Rivkah called Yaakov her son, and commanded him regarding his father and regarding his brother, that he should honor them all the days of his life. And Yaakov said, I will do everything as you have commanded me, for this thing will be honor and greatness to me, and righteousness before Yahuwah, that I should honor them. And you too, mother, know from the time I was born until this day, all my deeds and all that is in my heart, that I always think good concerning all. And how should I not do this thing which you have commanded me, that I should honor my father and my brother? Tell me, mother, what perversity have you seen in me? And I shall turn away from it, and mercy will be upon me. And she said unto him, My son, I have not seen in you all my days any perverse, but only upright deeds. Yet I will tell you the truth, my son. I shall die this year, and I shall not survive this year in my life. For I have seen in a dream the day of my death, that I should not live beyond 155 years. And behold, I have completed all the days of my life which I am to live. And Yaakov laughed at the words of his mother, because his mother had said unto him that she should die, and she was sitting opposite to him in possession of her strength. And she was not infirm in her strength, for she went in and out and saw, and her teeth were strong, and no ailment had touched her all the days of her life. And Yaakov said unto her, Blessed am I, mother, if my days approach the days of your life, and my strength remain with me thus as your strength. And you will not die, for you are jesting idly with me regarding your death. And she went in to Yitzchak and said unto him, One petition I make unto you. Make Esau swear that he will not injure Yaakov, nor pursue him with enmity. For you know Esau's thoughts, that they are perverse from his youth, and there is no goodness in him. For he desires after your death to kill him. And you know all that he has done since the day Yaakov his brother went to Haran until this day, how he has forsaken us with his whole heart, and has done evil to us. Your flocks he has taken to himself. He carried off all your possessions from before your face. And when we implored and besought him for what was our own, he did as a man who was taking pity on us. And he is bitter against you because you did bless Yaakov your perfect and upright Son. For there is no evil, but only goodness in him. And since he came from Haran unto this day, he has not robbed us of anything. For he brings us everything in its season, always, and rejoices with all his heart when we take at his hand. And he blesses us, and has not parted from us, since he came from Haran unto this day. And he remains with us continually at home, honoring us. And Yitzchak said unto her, I too know and see the deeds of Yaakov, who is with us, how that with all his heart he honors us. But I loved Esau formerly more than Yaakov, because he was the firstborn. But now I love Yaakov more than Esau, for he has done manifold evil deeds, and there is no righteousness in him. For all his ways are unrighteousness and violence, and there is no righteousness around him. And now my heart is troubled because of all his deeds, and neither he nor his seed is to be saved. For they are those who will be destroyed from the earth, and who will be rooted out from under heaven. For he has forsaken the Elohim of Abraham, and gone after his women, and after their uncleanness, and after their error, he and his children. And you do bid me make him swear that he will not slay Yaakov his brother. Even if he swear, he will not abide by his oath. And he will not do good, but evil only. But if he desires to slay Yaakov, his brother, into Yaakov's hands will he be given. And he will not escape from his hands, for he will descend into his hands. And fear you not on account of Yaakov, for the guardian of Yaakov is great and powerful and honored, and praised more than the guardian of Esau. And Rivkah sent and called Esau, and he came near to her. And she said unto him, I have a petition, my son, to make unto you. And do you promise to do it, my son? And he said, I will do everything that you say unto me, and I will not refuse your petition. And she said unto him, I ask you that the day I die, you will take me in and bury me near Sarah, your father's mother, and that you and Yaakov will love each other, that neither will desire evil against the other, but mutual love only. And so ye will prosper, my sons, and be honored in the midst of the land. And no enemy will rejoice over you. And ye will be a blessing and a mercy in the eyes of all those that love you. And he said, I will do all that you have told me, and I shall bury you on the day you die near Sarah, my father's mother, as you have desired, that her bones may be near your bones. And Yaakov, my brother, also I shall love above all flesh, for I have not a brother in all the earth, but only him. And this is no great merit for me if I love him, for he is my brother. And we were sown together in your body, rather sown together in your body, and together came we forth from your womb. And if I do not love my brother, whom shall I love? And I myself beg you to exhort Yaakov concerning me and concerning my sons. For I know that he will assuredly be king over me and my sons. For on the day my father blessed him, he made him the higher, and me the lower. And I swear unto you that I shall love him, and not desire evil against him all the days of my life, but good only. And he swore unto her regarding all this matter. She called Yaakov before the eyes of Esau, and gave him commandment according to the words which she had spoken to Esau. And he said, I shall do your pleasure. Believe me that no evil will proceed from me, or from my sons against Esau. And I shall be first in naught, save in love only. And they ate and drank, she and her sons that night, and she died, 3 jubilees and 1 week and 1 year old, on that night. And her 2 sons, Esau and Yaakov, buried her in the double cave near Serah, their father's mother. Yophalim, Jubilees 36. And in the 6th year of this week, Yitzchak called his 2 sons Esau and Yaakov, and they came to him. And he said unto them, My sons, I am going the way of my fathers, to the eternal house where my fathers are. Wherefore, bury me near Abraham my father, in the double cave, in the field of Ephron, the Chitti, where Abraham purchased a sepulchre to bury in the sepulchre which I dug for myself. There bury me. This I command you, my sons, that ye practice righteousness and uprightness on the earth, so that Yahuwah may bring upon you all that Yahuwah said that he would do to Abraham and to his seed. And love one another, my sons, your brothers, as a man who loves his own soul. And let each seek in what he may benefit his brother, and act together on the earth. And let them love each other as their own souls. And concerning the question of idols, I command and admonish you to reject them and hate them, and love them not. They are full of deception for those that worship them, and for those that bow down to them. Remember ye, my sons, Yahuwah Elohim of Abraham your father, and how I too worshipped him, served him in righteousness and in joy, that he might multiply you, and increase your seed as the stars of heaven in multitude, and establish you on the earth as the plant of righteousness, which will not be rooted out until all the generations forever. And now I shall make you swear a great oath, for there is no oath which is greater than it, by the name glorious and honored and great and splendid and wonderful and mighty, which created the heavens and the earth and all things together, that ye will fear him and worship him. And that each will love his brother with affection and righteousness, and that neither will desire evil against his brother from henceforth forever, all the days of your life, so that ye may prosper in all your deeds, and not be destroyed. And if either of you devises evil against his brother, know that from henceforth every one that devises evil against his brother shall fall into his hand, and shall be rooted out of the land of the living, and his seed shall be destroyed from under heaven. But on the day of turbulence and execration and indignation and anger, with flaming, devouring fire as he burnt Chedam, so likewise will he burn his land and his city, and all that is his. And he shall be blotted out of the Sefer of the discipline of the children of the men, and not be recorded in the Sefer of life, but in that which is appointed to destruction. And he shall depart into eternal execration, so that their condemnation may be always renewed in hate, and in execration, and in wrath, and in torment, and in indignation, and in plagues, and in disease forever. I say and testify to you, my sons, according to the judgment which shall come upon the man who wishes to injure his brother. And he divided all his possessions between the two on that day. And he gave the larger portion to him that was the firstborn, and the tower and all that was about it, and all that Abraham possessed at the well of the oath. And he said, This larger portion I will give to the firstborn. And Esau said, I have sold to Yaakov and given my birthright to Yaakov. To him let it be given. And I have not a single word to say regarding it, for it is his. And Yitzchak said, May a blessing rest upon you, my sons, and upon your seed this day, for ye have given me rest. And my heart is not pained concerning the birthright, lest you should work wickedness on account of it. May El Elyon bless the man that works righteousness, him and his seed forever. And he ended commanding them and blessing them, and they ate and drank together before him, and he rejoiced, because there was one mind between them. And they went forth from him and rested that day, and slept. And Yitzchak slept on his bed that day, rejoicing, and he slept the eternal sleep, and died 180 years old. He completed 25 weeks and 5 years, and his two sons Esau and Yaakov buried him. And Esau went to the land of Edom, to the mountains of Seir, and dwelt there. And Yaakov dwelt in the mountains of Hebron, in the tower of the land of the sojournings of his father, Abraham. And he worshipped Yahuwah with all his heart, according to the visible commands, according as he had divided the days of his generations. And Leah, his woman, died in the 4th year of the 2nd week of the 45th Jubilee, and he buried her in the double cave near Rivkah, his mother, to the left of the grave of Sarah, his father's mother. And all her sons and his sons came to mourn Leah, his woman, with him, and to comfort him regarding her, for he was lamenting her. For he loved her exceedingly after Rachel, her sister, died. For she was perfect and upright in all her ways, and honored Yaakov, and all the days that she lived with him, he did not hear from her mouth a harsh word. For she was gentle and peaceable, and upright and honorable. He remembered all her deeds which she had done during her life. He lamented her exceedingly, for he loved her with all his heart and with all his soul. Yovelem, Jubilees 37. And on that day Yitzchak, the father of Yaakov, and Esau died. The sons of Esau heard that Yitzchak had given the portion of the elder to his younger son Yaakov, and they were very angry. And they strove with their father, saying, Why has your father given Yaakov the portion of the elder, and passed over you, although you are the elder, and Yaakov the younger? And he said unto them, Because I sold my birthright to Yaakov for a small mess of lentils. And on the day my father sent me to hunt and catch and bring him something that he should eat and bless me, he came with guile and brought my father food and drink, and my father blessed him and put me under his hand. And now our father has caused us to swear, me and him, that we shall not mutually devise evil, either against his brother, and that we shall continue in love and in peace, each with his brother, and not make our ways corrupt. And they said unto him, We shall not hearken unto you to make peace with him, for our strength is greater than his strength, and we are more powerful than he is. We shall go against him and slay him, and destroy him and his sons. And if you will not go with us, we shall do hurt to you also. And now hearken unto us. Let us send to Aram and Peleshet and Moab and Ammon. Let us choose for ourselves chosen men who are ardent for battle. Let us go against him and do battle with him. And let us exterminate him from the earth before he grows strong. And their father said unto them, Do not go and do not make war with him, lest ye fall before him. And they said unto him, This too is exactly your mode of action from your youth until this day, and you are putting your neck under his yoke. We shall not hearken to these words. And they sent to Aram and to Adoram, to the friend of their father, and they hired along with them 1,000 fighting men, chosen men of war. And there came to them from Moab, from the children of Ammon, those who were hired, 1,000 men, and from Peleshet, 1,000 chosen men of war, and from Edom, and from the Chorim, 1,000 chosen fighting men, and from the Kittim, mighty men of war. And they said unto their father, Go forth with them and lead them, else we slay you. And he was filled with wrath and indignation on seeing that his sons were forcing him to go before them to lead them against Yaakov his brother. But afterward he remembered all the evil which lay hidden in his heart against Yaakov his brother, and he remembered not the oath which he had sworn to his father and to his mother, that he would devise no evil all his days against Yaakov his brother. And notwithstanding all this, Yaakov knew not that they were coming against him to battle. He was mourning for Leah his woman, until they approached very near to the tower with 4,000 warriors and chosen men of war. And the men of Chevron sent to him, saying, Behold, your brother has come against you to fight you, with 4,000 girt with sword. They carry shields and weapons, for they loved Yaakov more than Esau. So they told him, for Yaakov was a more liberal and merciful man than Esau. But Yaakov would not believe until they came very near to the tower. And he closed the gates of the tower, and he stood on the battlements and spoke to his brother Esau and said, Noble is the comfort wherewith you have come to comfort me for my woman, who has died. In this the oath that you did swear to your father, and again to your mother, before they died? You have broken the oath, and on the moment that you did swear to your father, were you condemned. And then Esau answered and said unto him, Neither the children of men nor the beasts of the earth have any oath of righteousness, which in swearing they have sworn an oath valid forever. But every day they devise evil one against another, and how each may slay his adversary and foe. You do hate me and my children forever. And there is no observing the tie of brotherhood with you. Hear these words which I declare unto you. If the boar can change its skin and make its bristles as soft as wool, or if it can cause horns to sprout forth on its head like the horns of a stag or of a sheep, then will I observe the tie of brotherhood with you. And if the breasts separated themselves from their mother, for you have not been a brother to me. And if the wolves make peace with the lambs, so as not to devour or do them violence, and if their hearts are towards them for good, then there shall be peace in my heart towards you. And if the lion becomes the friend of the ox and makes peace with him, if he is bound under one yoke with him and plows with him, then will I make peace with you. When the raven becomes white as the raza, then know that I have loved you, shall make peace with you. You shall be rooted out, and your sons shall be rooted out, and there shall be no peace for you. And when Yaakov saw that he was so evilly disposed towards him with his heart and with all his soul as to slay him, and that he had come springing like the wild boar, which comes upon the spear, that pierces and kills, and recoils not from it, then he spoke to his own and to his servants that they should attack him and all his companions. Yovalim Jubilees 38. And after that Yehudah spoke to Yaakov his father, and said unto him, Bend your bow, father, send forth your arrows, and cast down the adversary, and slay the enemy. May you have the power, for we shall not slay your brother, for he is such as you. He is like you. Let us give him this honor. Then Yaakov bent his bow and sent forth the arrow and struck Esau, his brother, on his right breast, and slew him. And again he sent forth an arrow and struck Adaran the Arami on the left breast, and drove him backward, and slew him. And then went forth the sons of Yaakov, they and their servants, dividing themselves into companies on the four sides of the tower. Yehudah went forth in front, and Naphtali and Gad, with him and 50 servants with him on the south side of the tower. They slew all they found before them, and not one individual of them escaped. And Levi and Dan and Asher went forth on the east side of the tower, 50 men with them. They slew the fighting men of Moab and Ammon. And Reuben and Yishakar and Zebulun went forth on the north side of the tower, 50 men with them. They slew the fighting men of the Pelishtim, and Shimon and Benjamin and Chanuk, Re'avun's son, went forth on the west side of the tower, and 50 men with them. They slew of Edom and of the Karim 400 men, stout warriors, and 600 fled. And 4 of the sons of Esau fled with them, and left their father lying slain, as he had fallen on the hill which is in Adaram. And the sons of Yaakov pursued after them to the mountains of Seir. And Yaakov buried his brother on the hill which is in Adaram, and he returned to his house. And the sons of Yaakov pressed hard upon the sons of Esau in the mountains of Seir, and bowed their necks, so that they became servants of the sons of Yaakov. They sent to their father to inquire whether they should make peace with them or slay them. And Yaakov sent word to his sons that they should make peace. They made peace with them, placed the yoke of servitude upon them, so that they paid tribute to Yaakov and to his sons always. They continued to pay tribute to Yaakov until the day that he went down into Mitzrayim. And the sons of Edom have not got free of the yoke of servitude with the 12 sons, rather, which the 12 sons of Yaakov had imposed on them until this day. And these are the kings that reigned in Edom, before there reigned any king over the children of Yashara'el, until this day in the land of Edom. And Balak, son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Danabah. And Balak died. Yovav, the son of Zarak of Batzra, reigned in his stead. Yovav died, and Cusham of the land of Teman reigned in his stead. And Cusham died, and Adan, son of Barad, who slew Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead, and the name of his city was Avith. And Adath died, and Salmon from Amasekah reigned in his stead. And Salmon died, and Shaul of Ra'avath by the river reigned in his stead. And Shaul died, and Baal-Unan, the son of Achbor, reigned in his stead. And Baal-Unan, the son of Achbor, died, and Adath reigned in his stead. And the name of his woman was Metabit, the daughter of Matarat, the daughter of Metabedazaav. These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom. Yovelim Jubilees 39. And Yaakov dwelt in the land of his fathers' sojournings, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Yaakov. And Yosef was 17 years old when they took him down into the land of Mitzrayim. And Potiphar, a eunuch of Pharaoh, the chief cook, bought him. And he set Yosef over all his house. The blessing of Yahuwah came upon the house of the Mitzri on account of Yosef. And Yahuwah prospered him in all that he did. And the Mitzri committed everything into the hands of Yosef, for he saw that Yahuwah was with him, and that Yahuwah prospered him in all that he did. And Yosef's appearance was comely, and very beautiful was his appearance. And his master's woman lifted up her eyes, saw Yosef. She loved him, besought him to lie with her. But he did not surrender his soul. He remembered Yahuwah and the words which Yaakov his father used to read from amongst the words of Abraham, that no man should commit fornication with a woman who has a man, that for him the punishment of death has been ordained in the heavens before El Elyon, and the sin will be recorded against him in the eternal Sepharim continually before Yahuwah. And Yosef remembered these words and refused to lie with her. She besought him for a year, but he refused and would not listen. But she embraced him and held him fast in the house in order to force him to lie with her, and closed the doors of the house and held him fast. But he left his garment in her hands and broke through the door and fled without from her presence. And the woman saw that he would not lie with her, and she bore false witness of him in the presence of his Lord, saying, Your Ivri servant, whom you love, sought to force me so that he might lie with me. And it came to pass, when I lifted up my voice, that he fled and left his garment in my hands when I held him. And he broke through the door. And the Mitzri saw the garment of Yosef and the broken door, and heard the words of his woman, and cast Yosef into prison, into the place where the prisoners were kept, whom the king imprisoned. And he was there in the prison, and Yahuwah gave Yosef favor in the sight of the chief of the prison guards, and compassion before him. For he saw that Yahuwah was with him, that Yahuwah made all that he did to prosper. And he committed all things into his hands. And the chief of the prison guards knew of nothing that was with him. For Yosef did everything, and Yahuwah perfected it. And he remained there 2 years. And in those days Pharaoh, king of Mitzrayim, was wroth against his 2 eunuchs, against the chief butler, and against the chief baker. And he put them inward in the house of the chief cook, in the prison where Yosef was kept. And the chief of the prison guards appointed Yosef to serve them, and he served before them. They both dreamed a dream. The chief butler, and the chief baker. And they told it to Joseph. And as he interpreted to them, so it befell them. And Pharaoh restored the chief butler to his office, and the chief baker he slew, as Joseph had interpreted to them. But the chief butler forgot Joseph in the prison, although he had informed him what would befall him, and did not remember to inform Pharaoh how Joseph had told him, for he forgot. Jubilees 40. And in those days Pharaoh dreamed 2 dreams in one night concerning a famine, which was to be in all the land. And he awoke from his sleep and called all the interpreters of dreams that were in Mitzrayim and magicians, and told them his 2 dreams. And they were not able to declare them. And then the chief butler remembered Joseph, and spoke of him to the king. And he brought him forth from the prison, and he told his 2 dreams before him. And he said before Pharaoh that his 2 dreams were one. And he said unto him, 7 years shall come in which there shall be plenty over all the land of Mitzrayim, and after that 7 years of famine, such a famine as has not been seen in all the land. And now let Pharaoh appoint overseers in all the land of Mitzrayim, and let them store up food in every city throughout the days of the years of plenty. And there will be food for the 7 years of famine, and the land will not perish through the famine, for it will be very severe. And Yahuwah gave Joseph favor and mercy in the eyes of Pharaoh, and Pharaoh said unto his servants, We shall not find such a wise and discreet man as this man, for the Ruach Yahuwah is with him. And he appointed him the second in all his kingdom, and gave him authority over all Mitzrayim, and caused him to ride in the second chariot of Pharaoh. And he clothed him with byssus garments, and he put a gold chain upon his neck, and a herald proclaimed before him, El wa Avirir, and placed a ring on his hand, and made him ruler over all his house, and magnified him, and said unto him, Only on the throne shall I be greater than you. Joseph ruled over all the land of Mitzrayim, and all the princes of Pharaoh, and all his servants, and all who did the king's business loved him, for he walked in uprightness, for he was without pride and arrogance, and he had no respect of persons, and did not accept gifts, but he judged in uprightness all the people of the land. And the land of Mitzrayim was at peace before Pharaoh because of Joseph, for Yahuwah was with him, and gave him favor and mercy for all his generations, before all those who knew him and those who heard concerning him. And Pharaoh's kingdom was well ordered, and there was no Satan and no evil person therein. And the king called Joseph's name Sophanat Paneach, gave Joseph to be his woman, the daughter of Potiphar, the daughter of the priest of On, the chief cook. And on the day that Joseph stood before Pharaoh, he was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, and in that year Yitzchak died. And it came to pass, as Joseph had said in the interpretation of his 2 dreams, according as he had said it, there were 7 years of plenty over all the land of Mitzrayim, and the land of Mitzrayim abundantly produced, 1 measure producing 1,800 measures. And Joseph gathered food into every city, until they were full of grain, until they could no longer count and measure it for its multitude.